Hello learners, welcome to today's lesson where we will be looking at how to write a summary, something that is quite easy but a lot of learners tend to confuse. So, for this example, we will be using an IEB question paper, which differs from government schools because instead of just telling you to summarize a text that you have been provided with, they will usually also give you a scenario in which you are summarizing for. Like looking at the one below, they say using the article text 2 and the tweet text 3 as your only sources, write a paragraph for a conference pamphlet about the benefits of ChatGPT in the English classroom. I know ChatGPT is something a lot of you love. So here, the scenario is that we are summarizing for a conference pamphlet. Another situation, you'd be summarizing a text for a speech. Now, how you would go about summarizing in those situations would be completely different. Now, let's go into the rules of the summary. They say your summary must be in the form of one paragraph, using no more than 90 words. Provide an accurate word count at the end of your summary. Your language must be accurate and in an appropriate register. Use your own words. Cutting and pasting of information is not acceptable. Now, these are all rules we are familiar with. Some tips I would give to add on to this is that when you are summarizing, refrain from quoting what has been said in your original text. The whole point of a summary is to shorten what you are talking about. So if you're quoting directly from the text, you are not helping yourself. The same as if you are given a list of things in the original text, find a way to summarize all those things into one word or one grouping. If they are talking about a knife, a fork, and a spoon, you would say utensils. So now, moving on to our provided text 2 and text 3, that you will be using as your sources for the summary. I will give you a moment to pause and read through the two texts before we go into the actual summarization. Now, when you're summarizing, you should ask yourself this. Every time you read something, refer to the original question asked and see, does this answer the question asked? You are supposed to speak about the benefits of ChatGPT in the English classroom, right? So if you are to read through the first paragraph of text 2, the information found there simply tells you what ChatGPT is, none of which is an advantage or a benefit to ChatGPT. But immediately at the beginning of the second paragraph, it says one of the advantages. We know that an advantage is something that is beneficial to you. So that first sentence is a point that we can take. What you do when you're writing a summary is that you would highlight that with your pencil so that you will use in a fluent paragraph later on. So it says one of the advantages of ChatGPT is its ability to understand context. Now, that is our point, and that is how it has been given to us. Because you cannot quote directly, how you would flip it, you do not need to change everything, just a word here and just a word there. You could say one of the benefits of ChatGPT is its ability to comprehend situations. From that, you have summarized the point you have been given in your own words. And then moving on, it says ChatGPT can be used in the classroom as a writing assistant. Teachers can use the model to provide students with feedback on their writing, providing a prompt in the form of a writing assignment, and then having the students input their text in the model. Now, you've been given multiple points you can use here. You can summarize them into 1 or 2 points because remember, we also have to adhere to a word count we have been given. So, you could simply say ChatGPT can help teachers with their workload. That would be a substitute for saying it is a writing assistant. And also that it can help teachers provide students with feedback. And then moving on to paragraph 3, it says another way that ChatGPT can be used in the classroom is as a tool for facilitating group discussions and debates. Now, a facilitator in a debate is someone who moderates, right? So instead of facilitating group discussions and debates, you could simply say ChatGPT can help moderate debates. Now, you're collecting your points here. You're collecting them, and you will later use them in a fluent paragraph at the end. You will say, the model can then analyze the responses of these prompts and provide suggestions for follow-up questions and comments, helping to keep the discussion on track and focused on the key issues. You may choose to use that, or you may choose to ignore it. Remember, here we are not given a number of points that we are required to use. So you do not have the same pressure as you would do in CAPS, where you are looking for 7 points to use, right? Now, let's skip to paragraph 3, where it says, finally, it is worth noting while ChatGPT is a powerful tool, it is not a replacement for human teachers. Teachers should always use their own judgment when using the model in the classroom, and it is always important to provide appropriate guidance and support for students. Now, if you're a little confused about what is the point there, you need to go back to the original question. We are looking for benefits of ChatGPT in the English classroom. So you are correct in not seeing a point in that statement. The same as in the last paragraph. Additionally, depending on the use and the complexity of the prompts, it is important to keep in mind that GPT's responses are generated by a machine. It's not always perfect and thus should be used as a support rather than the main source of information. Teachers can provide students with new and engaging ways to interact with the material and advance their understanding. I know most of you will think this is propaganda to get you off ChatGPT, but it is in fact the truth. And sometimes ChatGPT is limited to its user. So if you are the one who needs ChatGPT to do your work, and then you feed ChatGPT the wrong information, it will give you back the wrong information. So we do not advise you use that. But then now, I want us to also take a look at the marking guidelines that you are provided with. So a summary is always out of 10. And let's see, how do you score a mark in and around that 10 area, because that's what we strive for. It says candidates producing a very good summary which has adhered to all the instructions will demonstrate that they can successfully select relevant information from the different parts of the text. Now, again, you can pause here to read through all the marking guidelines, but we are only going to focus on the 10 to 8.5 because that's what we are aiming for. So now, a excellent summary is well written, it adheres to instructions, and it has the relevant information. If you are someone who picked a point from the first paragraph or the last two paragraphs where there are no relevant points to the discussion of the benefits of ChatGPT in the classroom, you are unlikely to score within this range. And then the next bullet says candidates will expertly synthesize that information to suit the new context and fulfill the specific requirements of the summary task. Remember, now you will be writing in your own words, meaning that the information you're given has been manipulated. Since you are the one manipulating it, you should also be able to make it fit together, gel together well, right? And your sentence, this means when you're writing your paragraph, it's not just a paragraph of multiple sentences. Some sentences are able to link together using your conjunctions. The register will be consistently appropriate to a pamphlet. Now here that's speaking about your language. Is it formal? Is it informal? Right? Expression will be excellent and will demonstrate a mastery of the language. Here we are talking about your grammar, your spelling, your use of punctuation, and all those things. And then full and coherent sentences will be used, resulting in a well-crafted, stylistically superior text. And then the final bullet says, a summary in this category exceeds the words limit can be awarded a maximum of 9 marks. See, and then if you go back to the first bullet, it said, which adhered to all instructions. So if you do not adhere to all instructions, you will be penalized for that. I hope this was helpful, and join me soon again for another English lesson.